You ever see a judge laugh at a kid in open court like the kid's just some joke? Yeah. Well, Judge Roderick Hale did. He leaned back in his chair, smirked like he'd already made his decision, drummed his fingers on the bench, and muttered, "Let's make this quick. I've got a tea time at 2. The gallery chuckled. Even the bailiff cracked a smile. But the kid just stood there. No smile. No flinch. Hands in his pockets like he wasn't the one wearing handcuffs. His name was Elijah Trent, 19. Accused of grand theft auto and evading arrest, standing next to a court-appointed defender who looked like she wanted to disappear into the floor. And at that moment, Elijah looked like every stereotype they wanted him to be: young, black, quiet, alone. But here's where it flipped, right before the judge could call the defense. Elijah gently touched his lawyer's arm, nodded once, and said, "I'll be representing myself. Now let me tell you." That room went silent, like someone had cut the power. Hale blinked. "You'll," what he asked, amused. Elijah didn't stutter. "I'll be defending myself, Your Honor." You could hear chairs creak as folks leaned forward. The prosecutor, Ethan Price, buttoned up. Harvard type chuckled and said, "This should be entertaining." But it wasn't entertainment Elijah was after. He stepped forward like he owned the floor. Calm, controlled. And he started with a simple question. "Mr. Price, in your opening you said, 'Officer Henderson saw me behind the wheel.' Correct." The prosecutor nodded. "That's right. It's in the report." Elijah smiled faintly, like he was teeing up a punchline. "Interesting. Because Officer Henderson wasn't even on duty during the pursuit." And just like that, boom, the first crack hit the wall. Elijah requested GPS logs to prove it. The judge paused. Price hesitated. And that hesitation, everyone noticed. Jury, gallery. Even the stenographer's fingers hovered for half a beat. Because when a prosecutor stalls on a basic verification, it don't look good. Elijah kept going, pointed to the damning evidence: his fingerprints on the car. "Let's talk logic," he said, turning to the jury. "If you try on a jacket at a store, then someone shoplifts it later. Does that mean you stole it? Fingerprints tell you someone touched something, not when, not why. Not if it was theirs." The jury shifted. One woman leaned forward, arms crossed like she just woke up to something. And he wasn't done yet. He asked if the forensics expert had testified. They hadn't. No cross-exam, no validation, nothing. "So," he said, "the state wants to convict me using forensic evidence, but won't even bring the analyst into the room." The judge rubbed his temple. Price clenched his jaw. The gallery murmured. Then Elijah dropped the bomb. He pulled out a printed police transcript, held it up. "This is from the original statement by the car's owner, Mr. Lionel Graves. He told officers, and I quote, 'It wasn't the guy you arrested. The kid I saw was white.'" You could hear someone gasp. The judge sat back. The prosecutor tried to object, said Elijah was found near the car, walking home. But Elijah had been ready for that too. "I wasn't in the car. I wasn't running. I was 2 blocks away with snacks in my hand and friends to back it up." He paused. Looked the jury dead in the eyes. What really happened is the cops saw a black kid nearby and figured, close enough. There it was. Judge Hale was silent. Long enough that it got uncomfortable. Then he leaned forward and said the words that cracked the room wide open: "Case dismissed." Some people clapped, others sat stunned. Reporters scrambled to write it all down. Elijah didn't flinch, just nodded once and walked toward the door. But before he reached it, the judge called out, "Mr. Trent." Elijah stopped. "You should consider law school." Elijah didn't turn around, just smirked. "Already on my way." Outside, The courthouse was a frenzy, reporters with microphones, cameras flashing like it was Hollywood. They shouted questions. How'd it feel to beat the system? Did you know the case would collapse? But Elijah didn't answer, pulled his hoodie up and walked down the steps, straight into the arms of a woman waiting near the curb. His mom, Monique. She didn't say anything at first, just stared at him like she was trying to memorize his face. Then, she exhaled hard and said, "Boy, you almost gave me a heart attack." He chuckled. "Had to take the shot, Ma." She shook her head, pulled him into a hug so tight the cameras couldn't see his face anymore. Across the street, leaning against a black sedan, Judge Hale watched them quietly. No smirk, no arrogance. Just a man standing in the aftermath of his own assumptions. Maybe realizing he'd almost helped send the wrong kid away. And maybe, for once, he was really listening. That day, Elijah didn't just win a case, he cracked the mask off a system that still judges books by covers, still listens to polished ties before it listens to truth. But here's the real question. How many others sat in that courtroom before him? Just as innocent. Just without the knowledge to fight back, see? Elijah was prepared. He had the tools. But what about the kids who don't? The ones who never got to learn the law, who don't have a mama who taught them how the system works. This story ain't just about one courtroom. It's about all of them. And maybe next time, the judge won't laugh because Elijah showed us something real. Sometimes, it's not the law that wins. It's the truth. If this story made you pause even for a second, hit that like button. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And tell me, was justice really served here? Or did Elijah just get lucky this time? Let's talk about it because the next Elijah might be someone you know,